All right, my friends. So this is the rough prototype for the new, um, maybe improved Rudy style crystal chamber. Um, Again, this is a crude prototype. There's a few things that were uh, misaligned a little bit, but we've gotten pretty darn close. So let me show you. See, you can't really see where the set screw is there. So you still have fully capable threading from grenade to body, and then once you get this far, you just have to find the channel, do the twist like Rudy's, and then here you go. And then there's your crystal chamber reveal. Man, I can't get over how sweet this is. Now Rudy, I know I want to do like a reveal back here too, but I had to figure out how the wire channel was going to work out in there. So I just did a crude design. I used some set screws to hold a wire channel back there. So we could probably cut an opening just above there and up. I've got the length fairly dialed in. I don't know if it's 100%. What I realized was that the Seven Chambers crystal chamber, the reason why the length of this was different for that was mostly because the PCB that they use up here, that they include in the kit for this chamber, is a hair shorter, than the traditional 1-inch PCBs that we get from Saber Bay that goes up here, right? So I wanted to design this so that nobody would have to modify these, to match what they did with this one, because not everybody's got that one. So I shortened this a little bit than that to make more sense with that PCB. Now again, it doesn't have any electronics, obviously, but it should work. But dude, this is such a dream of mine, man. Such a dream. I absolutely love your chamber design. And there's the channel that the grub follows, and then there's the smaller, and then as you can see, or I don't know if you can see, but at the bottom there, that lip goes back to 1-inch size. So I made sure that this gap was open just enough so that by the time the threads reach the body, the grub would be released of that channel, so that people can thread in, instead of like with your design where it was down and then click over again. The reason why I didn't want to do that is because on the hilts that your traditional chambers work on, that base that you have sliding up and down that attaches to the grenade, that base ridge goes under the Graflex clamps they have. So I feel like that kind of gives it a little more extra security, whereas like this, for example, won't have that. So that's why I went in this direction with just doing a simple mod to God, dude. Sorry, I'm totally geeking out, man. Totally geeking out. So yeah, I think it would be cool. I don't know that the back reveal needs to be as wide as the front one. Maybe just a smaller section or something would be cool. Because I like how solid most of the ridge here looks like in the hilt. I do like that. I don't like it to be too open, and then whatever little extra designs that your guy can do to this to make it look a little cooler with the ridges that you did on yours. Definitely open to that, just as long as we can still kind of keep the price low lower than the other one. So yeah, man, let me undo this here. And then voila. So again, super crude prototype. I actually went too far on the L shape there, and I'm gonna mark that to you. So I did like an X, and then I wrote too far. So if your guy can just like not go that far. And to be honest with you, like I'm open to other suggestions. Maybe you feel like the channel should be a little more back here. I don't know. I'm open to whatever you think, man. The only thing that I do like too is that I cut this so that the threads make this stop flush, well, as flush as I could get it with the control box. I don't know how easily that's going to be for your guy to kind of match that without having one of these in hand. That's the other part that I'm kind of worried about and thinking about. And then yeah, I don't know if you can see, but that's the wire channel back there. And then I've just got these little PCB holders. One obviously will go in the top, and then the other one flush in the bottom. I did modify those a little bit. There's I think the stem that are on these, I don't know if you can see, the stem that are on these are for a different concept, so they're a little longer than I think is necessary. But whatever, I can easily change that on my own. But yeah, man. Now again, the other thing that for me, really quick, so the idea is that the blade side PCB on the bottom and then the one on the top are going to be, both lights are going to face in towards the crystal. So the way I see it, the less wires the better. So like that, right? The only other thing that I just noticed now, and this could be because I cut, because again, I don't have very many like machines. I do all this pretty much by hand, which is probably insane, but I got to do what I got to do. So I cut that channel too big for the 3mm grub. There's a lot of play in that, so I'm hoping that when your guy does it, it'll obviously be more accurate so that there's not too much play. Like here's the straight channel, but there's all that play. And then when we get up to the lock section, there's, I don't know if you could see that play. So especially when we get up to the lock, I'm hoping that there won't be all that wiggle, all that play. I'm assuming that's because I cut the channel too wide. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. Ideally, personally, and I don't know if this is achievable or what your thoughts are, but I might have cut the chamber a little too wide up there. I like to be able to see a bottom base and a top base. So maybe we should cut it a little shorter. you know, maybe just like, you know, maybe like, so there's just like that much lip of this showing at the top here. I know that's a small window for the chamber, but unless you think that where the L stops, you can go a little higher. But I'm nervous that if we go higher on that, it'll, you know, it'll have more play here. Because I noticed on yours, you made the top where you made the distance from where the L goes, and the top is still pretty long and deep in the grenade section. And I think that's probably why you did that, is to stop the top from having play. But anyway, you know, let me know your thoughts. If you can find a better way to, you know, to put in a wire channel, by all means do it, because this, doing it the way I did it, that takes up obviously space in there. So, you know, putting a crystal chamber design will only be that much more difficult, whatever. But yeah, man, this is going to be great. I think people are going to go nuts for this. I hope people go nuts for this. This has been a dream of mine probably for the last 2 years now, since I saw your crystal chamber. And I remember when I first you know, started searching for it, I was like, wait a minute, why is this only available for a very heavy V2, you know, your V3, which I wish had a 1-inch option on the emitter, you know, and then Obi-Wan, yeah, I was like, dude, this has to be available. We have to do this for all freaking hilts, man. So that's the mission here. I hope you're okay with that. And it sounded like you were when we talked, but I could stare at this all freaking night. It just looks so solid. Now, I'm probably getting a little ahead of myself, but there's a big part of me that wants to achieve a double reveal, same way like this, tap right at the threads, have a pipe, you know, but I think actually, I don't know if do the threads match? I actually didn't check that. Let's sorry, let's see here, if the threads match these parts. No. Damn. Completely different. Well, I mean, I can give your guy, I got a special tool coming to measure these threads. I can, once I figure it out in a couple days, I can send it to your guy, and then maybe he can design a piece so that the bottom could also be like this. That part, though, I think might have to be, you know, like a future kind of thing, because for me and my chassis I have designed, the section that goes back there, you know, here's a busted one, but as you can see, the body over here is wider than here because it gets smaller there. So it would have to get even narrower to have another layer of metal in there. And yeah, the battery, it's too fat, I think, personally, I think. Or I'm just doing too thick on these. That's such a difficult thing to figure out. It's like starting over again, which I really don't want to do. I like the power pack, you know, that you can just, because then if we do it, actually, you know what, if we do the double reveal, then to take the power pack completely out and change the battery, you'd have to undo this section with the, you know, with the grub screw, which I don't want people to have to do. I want, you know, to be able to just on the fly undo this, take it out, swap the battery, pop it in, then boop boop boop. So, dude. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Um, yeah, and I tried to mark right there, preferably the right measurement for when the grub needs to. But as you can see right here, so I actually gave a little extra room, probably too much extra room. But then again, it's probably not a bad idea to have that just in case, like whenever I do the tap on someone's, grenade section, if I am off a little bit, there's maybe room for error. So yeah, and then you just find the channel. Oh my god, I love this thing. I'll show you the bottom. Sorry, I know this video is going long, but yeah. So then ideally at the bottom here, the PCB holder will just be flush there, and then that's where it meets my power pack. Oh my god. This is freaking... Oh, I can't believe, like, I got it so freaking dialed in. Like, oh my lord. Alright, dude. Oh yeah, and then so those are the connectors that connect the control box to the power pack. Man, this baby is dialed in. Oh. I'm totally nerding out. Dude, I'm gonna die with one of these, man. Like, I told my wife, like, if I go before you, and I'm gonna tell the kids when they're older, one of these in my casket. Probably my whole collection. I mean, I'll probably have like doubles just so my kids can have copies. But I want some of these with me because this is just I could take this to work. I could literally take this to work with me, and I have. God. And again, this is the 7 chambers hilt. Talk to you soon.